Chapter 9, Dalaka Mork. Governor Priam was exhausted after a long day of contending with endless challenges. All he wanted to do was have a nightcap and go to bed. The cost of paying unemployed hooligans to act as cannon fodder for the Arbites was proving more costly than he anticipated. Priam had honestly assumed there would be more casualties. On the other hand, things seemed to be progressing on the Orc front. Orc glyphs and graffiti were discovered alongside other ganger tags declaring their claims on territory. At this point, finding their lair would only be a matter of time. As Priam was about to go to bed, his scribe Tusa knocked on the front door.
What is it, Tusa? Unless the Inquisition has declared exterminatus on our planet, I would rather retire for the evening, if you don't mind.
Tusa gave a short bow. Sorry to disturb you, sir, but your granddaughter refuses to go to bed. She says she has something to show you and insists she's not the least bit tired.
Naturally, the moment I send her parents away to treat with House Danan, she wants to make a fuss. Very well, I will be up in a moment.
The governor slowly made his way to his granddaughter's room. When he opened the door, the 6-year-old girl held up a tooth in triumph.
Look, Grandpa! I lost my first tooth. I hope the one that grows in its place is sharp, like a garcat. Roar!
Oh, yes, that's lovely, dear. You should put that tooth under your pillow so the Tooth Fairy will come and leave a throne beneath your pillow. But she won't come unless you're asleep. So you should close your eyes and get some rest, yes?
Priam turned to leave.
The Tooth Fairy takes teeth and gives money? Where does she get all that money?
She's very rich, dear.
Why does she want teeth?
Nobody knows, dear. It's a mystery.
Where does the Tooth Fairy live?
I don't know. Second stall on the right and straight on till morning. But why, Andromache? Please go to bed. It has been a very long night for Grandpa. And, plus, we don't want the Tooth Fairy to pass you by, do we?
Andromache folded her arms, looking annoyed.
No. There's a good girl. I will see you in the morning.
As Priam kissed Andromache goodnight, he carefully slipped his hand beneath her pillow and traded the tooth for a shiny golden throne. The old man yawned as he left the room, yearning for his own bed. Andromache closed her eyes for a few minutes. Then she waited a few more, and one more for good measure. But she still did not feel the least bit tired. Perhaps she could see this mysterious Tooth Fairy. Suddenly, Andromache could hear a thump above her head, along with some mysterious rustling. The little girl opened her eyes just enough to sneak a peek at the mysterious fairy. Suddenly, one of the large tiles in her ceiling was pulled free, and a large shape fell into the room. Despite the thing's enormous size, it landed with little sound on the carpet. The thing looked like a hunched, muscle-bound man in a tricorn hat and long coat. He also had a strange device strapped to his back, and he smelled terrible.
Are you the Tooth Fairy?
Captain Crump spun around and pointed his chopper at Andromache. Seeing it was an unarmed, tiny humy, he relaxed a little. He would have just killed her and continued on his way to keep the little thing from squeaking and bringing other humies. But he heard his favorite word.
The Tooth Fairy. What's a Tooth Fairy?
Andromache sighed and very patiently explained. If you leave a tooth under your pillow, the Tooth Fairy will take your tooth and give you a golden throne.
Where's this Tooth Fairy getting all that scratch? What'd she do with all the teeth?
Andromache shakes her head. This ceiling monster had a lot to learn. Well, you see, she's very rich. As a matter of fact, no one knows what she does with all the teeth. It's a mystery.
So, you're saying that this tooth fairy git has more teeth than the bad moons, and more gold than the emperor?
Andromache nodded sagely, even though she had no idea what a bad moons was.
And you're saying that this fairy is coming for your tooth tonight?
Yep, I lost my first tooth tonight. Andromache reached under her pillow and pulled out the shiny golden throne, and she gasped.
She was already here! I only had my eyes closed for a moment, and she was already here.
Captain Crump looked disappointed. Ambushing the fairy seemed out of the question.
Do you know where to find this fairy git?
Andromache took on an air of being an expert in all things tooth fairy related. Everyone knows that she lives on the second star on the right, straight on till morning. Captain Crump's eyes grew wide. The captain had a pretty good understanding of Humy money, and knew how valuable it was to them, as he had experience working as a mercenary. He leaned forward towards Andromache.
I've got a deal for you, Tiny Humy. You take me to this fairy git, we crump 'em, then I'll take all the teeth they got, and you can take all the Humy money, right?
Andromache pondered this possibility. Then I could buy my own planet and have all the candy I want, and then I'd be in charge and nobody could tell me to go to bed.
Aye, that's the spirit, Tiny Humy. All you needs is enough teeth, and then I can get me a ship and get off this rock. Do we got a deal?
Captain Crump stuck out a large, gnarled hand to the little girl. Andromache paused for a moment. This creature was big, stinky, and ugly. But he was no less stinky than a lot of the parts of the city, and he was definitely less ugly than some of the other nobles. And he was promising lots of shiny gold thrones and adventure. Still, Andromache wasn't sure. Her parents might get real mad.
If you come with me, you get to fly.
Andromache clasped hands with the enormous orc. Deal.